Joe. Good day, gents. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully you're having a fantastic start to the week. I actually wasn't able to get a episode recorded for you guys for the podcast this week. Actually, I got it recorded. It just wasn't prepared. So you got to make sure that you check out next week's episode on Monday. We're going to be talking about grief and how we as men, we grieve too. And so check that out next Monday. It's a really great episode. I met with the guy that I met on TikTok. He has a phenomenal channel, and he talks about grieving for the loss of his son who died almost 4 years ago. So that'll be next Monday. But I thought that I would step away and share some thoughts with you guys that I've been thinking about. You know, when I was young, my dad dreamed. I mean, he had a dream car, and that was a navy blue Mustang GT 5.0. I mean, and ideally he wanted it to be a convertible. And so for years, man, we would drive by, and if we saw one on the street, we would stop and take a look at it. Sometimes we would even go to the dealership and he'd take a look, but he would never drive it. It's like he didn't want to tempt himself. And so finally, after he retired from the Navy, he finally bought a Mustang, and it was beautiful. I remember him driving home, and he was so excited to be in his Mustang and so proud of it. And I asked him, the first thing I said, "Dad, this is beautiful, but how come you didn't get the convertible?" And he said, "Well, I thought it would be too pretentious, so I just got the hard top." I'm like, okay, I can live with that, because when I built my house, the builder tried to get me to build a 3-car garage, and I'm like, no, it's pretentious. I don't need that much space. And I tell you, I wish I would have built a 3-car garage. I could use the extra space. But back to my story. So my dad had this beautiful Mustang. He looked great in it. He had fun driving it. Every once in a while we would go for a drive and he would punch it. And you know what? He never let me drive it, now I come to think about it. But it was his baby, right? And about 6 months later, I came over to his house, and in the driveway, there was a navy blue Toyota truck. And I'm like, wait a sec, Dad, what happened to the Mustang? He said, well, he kind of stammered. I go, no, Dad, what happened to the Mustang? He goes, I always dreamt of having that car, but I always felt uncomfortable driving it. And that just really hit me, and I've been thinking about that. Because I think a lot of us men, especially men who grew up in poor families, who saved and fought and worked for every nickel, for every dime, and they just worked to have every little thing. And they were just trying to survive, let alone have something nice. And I realized that my dad, in some ways, felt guilty for treating himself to a dream that he'd always had. And I think all of us men, from time to time, we fall prey to that. We don't think we deserve good things. We think everything we do should be for everybody else. And if we do get ahead a little bit, we better sock it away for a rainy day. And there is wisdom in that. But how many times do we as men actually treat ourselves to something that we've always dreamed about, that we've yearned and worked for, and when we finally got it, do we enjoy it? Do we enjoy it? And I think all of us men could do a better job of being a little kinder to ourselves and recognizing that, yeah, we've worked hard, and yes, sometimes we deserve good things. So anyway, something for you to think about. I hope that you're treating yourself well, because when you treat yourself well, especially when you have a servant's heart, where your family is always first, your wife's always first, you know what? There's a place, a time and a place for you to take care of you, and that's what I'm doing. I'm actually enjoying a beautiful walk in the evening. I'm gonna go chill in my backyard. So anyway, you guys have a great night. I'd love to hear your thoughts. How have you either felt guilty about your success, or felt guilty for treating yourself to something amazing? Or have you worked for something, dreamed about something, and put the cast down and go, yeah, this baby's mine and I earned it and I'm going to enjoy it? And I will tell you, actually, before I bounce, I think I'll share one more thing with you. You know, when I was, Judy and I, we always had a boat. We had a Bayliner 18-foot boat, and it was a great boat. Loved that boat. And then one day we go to the boat shop to actually pick up my wakeboard that had been getting repaired. And Judy goes out and she starts looking at boats. And I'm like, sweetheart, don't go look at boats. We can't afford it. So of course she goes and she starts looking at all these $100,000, $150,000 boats. And I'm like, yeah, we ain't affording that. And then finally she goes out. She goes, do you have any used boats? So they go out and they start looking at used boats. And she pulls me out. We look at a couple and I'm like, man, for the money, it's just not worth it. And then underneath, back in the back, there was one boat that was covered. And I asked the guy, I go, is that a Calabria? He goes, yeah, it is. He goes, that actually just came in on assignment. I go, well, if I look at any boat, I want to look at that. And he opened it up and it was immaculate. Only had 107 hours on it. And we started talking about it. Next thing I know, we're buying a boat. And you know, I really did not want to buy that boat. I wasn't looking for it. But I can tell you, every time I'm in the boat with my family, I'm wake surfing or driving or skiing or wakeboarding behind it, I love every minute of it. And I'm grateful that my wife talked me into getting in the boat, because man, it has created unbelievable memories. And sometimes the price that you pay, it's nothing compared to the memories that you make. You guys go have a great day, and we will check you on the flip side.